I'm talking about the importance of multiculturalism in emergency management and how we can actually have better outcomes through better representation both within our workforce as well as in the community. However, I'm also talking about some of the challenges that we experience currently in the industry, but how we can support the community better through cultural safety as well. So first of all, it's about leveraging both from your current membership to draw in new membership. It's about knowing some of the challenges that your organisation's facing. A lot of the time policies are actually not built and they've been built in a monoculture, so it doesn't actually support diversity. And so it's really having a bit of reflection and internal reflection about systemic inequity inside of your organisation. But moving forward, it's also about having more human conversations with people, empathising with them, understanding that diversity is not just a statistic, it's actually you are a whole person, and that culture actually has quite a bit of influence in the way that you think and are informed and make decisions. And from that, being able to then be able to connect with your community in the same way and understand they have their own identity that's going to be nuanced wherever you are. And I think it's really about remembering that at the end of the day, disaster is actually a social phenomenon. If a tree falls in a forest but there's no society there, is that a tragedy? Well, suddenly you put somebody's house there and then it is. And that's where I think we need to remember that we have a huge role to play. Sustainability has kind of two interpretations for me. One is for sustainable future, means how can we actually optimize and better invest in what we're doing, but also retain and actually improve and have a more sound future for all of us. And then the second component of that is that how can we actually have more diverse thought, take in a lot more different approaches about things and think about how we can do things differently. So on the first one, I think a lot of it's about how do we attract different members and how do we support the community in a different way, so it's actually much more sustainable for all of us to be able to hold our communities together, to protect our communities and to use what resources that we've actually got as well. The second component of this, how do we better support them? And by having more diverse ideas, we're going to come up with new approaches. And I think that's a really important thing in sustainability, is how can we do things differently and how can we innovate for the better of all of us as well. So I think sustainability, which is the broad theme, is looking after our future. And I certainly think through both our membership as well as innovation, we can certainly find a more sustainable future.